games are in development hell. There's a bunch of games that are out there that are just taking forever to get to the market. But it brings up the point of a video I just recently did on Star Citizen and asking what is going on with this game. I asked the question of why $48,000 is a bundle or a DLC, whatever you want to call it for the game. Why this even exists, and apparently I've been told up and down that it exists because the fans of the game requested it. I don't know what fan of any game or even of the channel has $48,000 to sit there and drop on something. I've also been told that you can get all of the ships in this bundle through playing. Digging into it, if they do a system wipe, you lose all of them for not paying them. So where does that leave this game? Well, development hell is one place that this game is in, along with several others. Now, before I get into the article and the video, please do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, do all those fun things. Leave your comments down below because I'm trying to understand a little bit more of Star Citizen, what type of game it really is and where it actually is going for a game. This list, I'm gonna go over fairly quick. One is Hollow Knight Silksong. This is the follow-up to Hollow Knight. You know what? It's not surprising to hear that this is in development hell. It's been sitting out there. This was something that was promised. Hollow Knight is a Metroidvania style game, very much similar to Ori and the Blind Forest, just a newer version or a different telling of the story. I have played a bit of the first one. I didn't get fully into it because I just kind of felt like it trailed off for a story form. Dragon Age Dreadwolf, well, they had a massive layoff and Dreadwolf pretty much got shelved from the looks of it. We don't know where this is going to end up with BioWare, so this was something I covered back when they did their layoffs here in Edmonton, Alberta. Metroid Prime 4, I'm surprised this is on the list. Of course, they did just come out with Metroid Dread. Metroid Prime 4 is probably going to be something you're going to look at for the Switch 2, which is very big rumors. Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark was an amazing game on the Nintendo 64. You had to upgrade your Nintendo 64 to actually be able to play Perfect Dark. So many secrets. It was very reminiscent of GoldenEye 64. It was kind of that follow-up to it. I thought it was an amazing game, but this is one of those games where it's not out there. So it's under Crystal Dynamics with Embracer Group, and they've gone through a lot of restructuring. So I'm not surprised that this is going to be one of those games that's in development hell. And then Beyond Good and Evil 2. This was a AAA by Ubisoft. Once again, this is the games market right now. It's fluctuating up and down. These are 5 games that were picked by Hardcore Gamer as the games in development hell. And I gotta say, the one thing that seems to be in development hell right now is Star Citizen. And just looking at the forums under their tech support, you get plenty of support tickets, people asking for refunds, you get people demanding its absolute crap. Some of these are a little unhinged, like this dog crap one. You go into it. So I recently installed again after building a new machine. This is something that I've read through many of these forums where a new machine is not running very well for this game. And I have to say it's complete BNDS, dog crap. The game runs worse than Skyrim with too many sex mods, and that is with a 13900K plus a 4090 overclocked. So they have the top of the line right now, and they can't run this game. This is not acceptable. I do not care for excuses. I do not care for anything other than how the F do I get a refund for this giant ass BS of a scam that has never been finished. Even with the settings for my X52 are now broken, it worked perfectly several updates ago. Even the game worked better on a worst build. Now today it is more trash and more issues with less functionality than ever before. Considering this game was, what, 100 million to work with, 650 million now. I cannot fathom how it ended up in the state and can no longer excuse it in any way, shape, or form. I'm effing done. No amount of Googling has fixed any issues with performance. Nothing has changed in the fact that Doom 2016 looks better, or the fact that it is built like Swiss cheese left in the sun to rot, full of holes and mold. So how do the F do I get my money I apparently paid for something I will never get back? One of the moderators, well, if you ask like an adult and we'll help you, this is one of the most rude and moronic posts I've ever seen. And someone else, Swiss cheese burn, actually 800 million. There's good times and bad with the build so far. And this is something that I've seen up and down. The game does not seem to be in a state of awareness of what it is. It's like you have a black hole or a bottomless pit. All this money's being tossed into it, but it never fills up. It never fills up, and there's no bottom to it. And that's what I've seen with this game. Now, the company, Robert Space Industries, has something like 1,100 people working for them. They have offices around the world. I think it's 4 different offices around the world, Texas, the UK. It's absolutely massive of a company at this point, and they're building everything from the ground up. It's like they see something in the game and they go, well, we can't do this right now. Okay, let's build the framework. Let's build it up from there. But we're talking over 10 years of development, and this is a game that was hailed as the new gen of a game. They're right now in what is it, Alpha 3.22? They're still in an alpha state 10 years later. If that's not development hell, then what is it? Star Citizen has stopped running unexpectedly at launch. One night I was playing Star Citizen fine, then I logged into, grabbed some lunch very quickly, came back, was about to go on with a friend, and since I was getting an error, Star Citizen has stopped running unexpectedly every time I try to launch the game. I've seen these problems with World of Warcraft before, back a long time ago when they were in beta access for World of Warcraft and shortly after release. And they've done it after every release of the game. You've seen this type of thing. You've also seen this with MTG Arena. So this is not anything unheard of when it comes to a launcher. This is an error within the system. Help PC reboots as soon as the character wakes up in bed. Still not playable after last patch. My support ticket experience 2024. Why can't I put in a ticket? I click support, I sign in. When signed in, I click submit a request. I click the drop down for please choose your issue below. I select one and there is no other lines. Denotes field, required field is there above the drop down. I literally can't make a ticket. I clicked on the issues, no other lines generate. There's nothing I can do besides browse. That's one and only drop down no matter what I select. $1,200 given to them, and I have made tickets before. Why is it like this now? And they get a response, your browser is messed up. The support site works fine. It's probably cookies or something. Try opening in incognito mode. If anything, you want to go into a different style of browser. So you have Firefox, Google Chrome, you have Microsoft Edge, which I wouldn't use, and many other different browsers out there that you should be able to go. Now, this seems like it's a launcher issue. You should be able to do this from the launcher and not have to go into an incognito mode of a web browser to be able to support get a ticket supported. The guy's having problems. He comes to the forums and says, my ticket won't support. And instead of getting help, he's told, oh, go into incognito mode. Refund, how can I request a refund? The ticket system doesn't work. Trying to get a refund, the game doesn't work well, but there's a text box missing. Tell us about your problem. So once again, people are looking for refunds. These are new. January 10th. Like, these are all new submit. January 9th, another refund. And then there is this random ass chart that I can't even make heads or tails of what this is. The system requirements for this game is something I've never seen before, where they list the system requirements of saying you need a DirectX 11 graphics card. Right? What is that? Well, that's anything past the 2060 and upwards for when it comes to a graphics card. Usually when you list your system requirements, you're putting down these are the graphic cards that you want, and then those that are in the know with graphic cards can take that point and follow from there on, instead of them going, oh, you need this framework to be able to run it. Now, this is a chart showing your frames per second, and the high green here, the really bright green here at 4% of the people playing the game show that their frame rate is like perfect. They have no problems whatsoever. But then you look at the CPU score and the GPU score. I don't even know where these numbers are coming from because they don't explain this on this chart. See full list of variables. Anyway, I would guess your 650 CPU is going to be like a 4090, and then your 750 is going to be that top end CPU, the 13900 or whatever the Ryzen would be. You know, the 550, so that's a 4080. I'm guessing, I have no clue, because they just go off the CPU score. Is this a score that's being graded by Windows? Is this a score they're grading? This is apparently data that's being uploaded to them by you playing the game. We receive and analyze client FPS data from every machine playing Star Citizen every hour. So they are running things in the background on your system. Those things that are running in the background, those analytics that are running in the background, the overlays of that will bog down your systems. They will bring it down, and it could be one of the major issues when it comes to frame rate issues and why they're having such an issue with this game, how and getting it to market, because they're analyzing so much. Imagine doing this for 10 years. The amount of data points that they're collecting from users' systems is absurd. I just find this absolutely fascinating to look at because I've never seen anything quite like this. I've never seen any game collect this amount of data on their users. Now, I ran a little poll on my my community tab. Honestly, I didn't expect much out of it. It's mostly my audience is going to see these things, but it's gotten 72 votes, so I think it's relevant to talk about. And honest opinion on Star Citizen. I put it out there. I was asking the question because I want an honest opinion out of these things. And I find it very interesting that only 10% believe it's a legit game. Otherwise, it's 39% saying it's a scam, 24% saying it's a black hole, meaning you're just throwing the money at this game, and then unsure at 25%, a quarter of the people, I don't know what it is, and then the 3% that sat there and just wanted to see the results. That's why I said ship leet is OP, right? That's just to see the results. Got a couple comments, nothing crazy on it, but to me, I let this post run 3 days before I'm revealing it here. I honestly did look into the game. I looked deeper into the game, and I'm looking to the forums, and I am terrified of this game. I think what it stands on the market right now is something that's just money has been thrown at. Thousands and thousands and millions of dollars at this point has been thrown at this game. They've had lawsuits, they've had mire of controversies, which I'm not going to go over here. A simple search on Wikipedia will bring up a few of those. But I tell you, I've seen numerous Reddit posts warning people of this game. I don't know where it lies, and there's 1,100 people that have jobs around this game, which I think is an amazing thing to see get built up. I'm scared of it. It doesn't look like it's ever going to be in a functional state that's going to be out there. A game in a buggy state like this over 10 years is absolutely atrocious. And we've seen many games come out in the last year that were like that, and they get completely panned. It's a real shame because everything I have seen, the trailers, a little bit of the gameplay I've watched, it does look like a decent game and could rival No Man's Sky, or it could have been this year's Starfield. But Starfield and Bethesda went, oh, you know what, we're going to put out the game. It's in a working state. If people don't like it, they can mod it, right? And that's where it is. There's no embracing of mods. They're trying to do every aspect of this game. And I think the scope of the game needs to be shrunk and released. Anyway, I'm your proud Canadian Phoenix, Cindershadow. Have yourselves a great day. I hope you like this one. You know, I had people asking me to legitimately look more into the game. It still doesn't really put me at a different state of affairs for it. It puts me in a worried mess that I think people are getting, that people are putting their money in a state that just will never see that return on investment. Anyway, have yourselves a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe.